And let's go to the next issue, which is equity, right? So the multimodal transportation network brings equity to folks who aren't driving, because most folks who are driving are doing that to take advantage of all of these options. They can go to school when they want, they can go to the grocery store. So I think it's Jeanette Sadiq Khan, I'm going to get it wrong, who says it's, freedom isn't having a car, freedom is not needing a car. And that's where multimodal systems can deliver equity. So broadly, when we're talking technology, which we'll get into, public agencies don't need to try to compete with these private entities, but do we have a space? I believe we do, where we can help be the equity provider to make sure everyone can take advantage of it. And again, Pittsburgh's a great example. Within the area that we serve, we have a stronger density of younger folks, older folks. 18 to 34 is about 20% region-wide, but it's nearly 35% within that watershed. Again, back to our transit services, definitely our populations of color. And how are we using what we've got and that technology to smooth out some of the equity gaps? I mean, if the only way you can get these better life services is driving, we have failed from the beginning. Because you're not getting that community connection. You don't know your neighbor because you leave your house via your garage and you undock with a car that docks somewhere else. And then you miss all the benefit that the city has to provide. And how do we start off with yes? So for instance, you can take your Connect card, which is our fare card, and you can get up to 15 minutes free on a bike share ride. And most bike share here, most nationally, it's a 12-minute ride. It's a great partnership. Well, what happens when we bring in scooters? Is anyone from the city of Pittsburgh here that's going to yell at me? But Justin, don't quote me. I don't have to deal with them, so I think they're fantastic. I think they're like walking on steroids, right? And it keeps you out of your car, and you can get from a bus stop. And let's be honest, driving is horrific. Even if you like your car, driving is awful. And how do we start integrating this so it's not just the cool kids who have, their own credit card who can take advantage of it, but it's the kids who can't get to an after-school program because no one will help them get across a bridge. And you have scooters that I don't have to deal with that could get you there.
So just building on that point around equity, I mean, I think that one of the things that is really critical, and I think all the work that we're doing, and particularly Diana and I have talked about this extensively, is that you can't do these things in independent systems and silos. And so if our goal is to take populations of people and move them from subsidy-based supports, which is I think what we're very good at, right? We'll give you a bus pass, we'll give you a little cash to live in your neighborhoods. We want them to be self-sufficient, and we want to give them a career pathway, we want to get them employed, we want to create long-term solutions. Then doing this in terms of integrating the transportation solutions and the mobility solutions along with all the other systems that Diana's mentioning, from whether it's health and well-being to workforce development, that those things all have to be considered together, because if we don't think about it comprehensively, and if we don't build in this equation on how we move people and how we move the policy barriers away, how do we create the right incentives and the right policy change and not be scared that the rules are the rules, and really being able to push that. And I think we've been on a nice job in Pittsburgh, and I know our government leaders are, been extremely progressive, majestic from your perspective, in allowing us to think broadly about integrating systems, putting the person in the middle, and building the idea of mobility around that so we can create long-term sustainable solutions.